Hey, you know what's great? Opinions. Opinions are the cornerstone of the foundation that brings our society forward into a better tomorrow. Opinions make us who we are, and without them, we get pretty boring fast. Like, even if you have a complete dog shit opinion, like saying mechanical pencils are a good and worthwhile invention, it's still your opinion and you're entitled to it. But one thing I hate is when someone categorizes their opinions in a hierarchical ranking system and flaunts it off to everyone else just to seem special. In other words, nobody cares about your tier list. If you've been anywhere on the internet, like YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, Kick, I guess, then you've seen this image before. The tier maker template. Back in the old days, these were originally used for fighting games, and Smash Brothers, to determine how good characters were. So for example, the better characters would be higher on the list, like in the S or A rank, while the worst ones would be in like C or D. Granted, they sometimes be subject to change, either because of balancing or general knowledge of the game expanding. But they served their purpose and were always used within an appropriate context. That is until some jackass decided to rank his favorite pair of socks just to be quirky, leading to everyone making a tier list about everything. Now, I'm not gonna lie, at first it was kinda clever seeing people make tier lists for NFL teams or Pokemon games or whatever. But that novelty quickly faded once YouTube got its grubby hands on it. Oh my God, do YouTubers love tier list videos, and reasonably so given they promote laziness. For example, a lot of these videos have pretty sizable lengths, which, theoretically makes sense given they're ranking a lot of stuff, but once you actually sit down and watch one, you can see why these videos are so long. Most, if not all, are usually done in one take with little to no preparation beforehand, leading to the video being full of dead air, and incoherent ramblings. Now, one can argue that's a part of their charm. Like, it feels more genuine to do it in a live setting rather than a formal one. And hey, if you like having your time wasted by an idiot who can't structure a proper sentence, then please, be my guest. But this just goes to show how desperate people are to cash in on this horrible trend. I mean, you don't need an AP-style essay on why bran flakes are a C-tier cereal, but at least have some footnotes. And I know this is pretty hypocritical of me since I made a tier list video a while back as well. But in my defense, not only were they slightly less oversaturated back then, I had the decency to stop at 1. There are maniacs out there who've made tier list videos a regular occurrence on their channels. Do they not understand how sad and pathetic that is? They're basing their entire personality around ranking stuff nobody cares about just to appease to man-children. Call me a boomer or just nostalgic, but whatever happened to top 10s? I know Watch Mojo has a monopoly over the format, but at least these forced creators to be creative. Like they'd have to organize the structure beforehand, write a script that justified each entry's position, and even, God forbid, edit for more than 5 minutes. Obviously, that's asking too much of these freaks. But you want to know what the real kicker is? Sometimes they'll be so lazy they won't even finish their tier lists. I've seen literally hundreds of lists that say, all subjects ranked or definitive subject tier list, and then put half of the entries in the no experience or haven't seen or heard section. I'm sorry, but if you're gonna put the time into making this, at least have the decency to formulate an opinion on everything so half of the list isn't accounted for. Though, to be honest, that's why tier lists suck. They're being used to share bad opinions. They worked with fighting games because entries were based on fact. Sure, there was some room for interpretation, but as a whole, the lists were developed using reason and evidence. But now when some dip-ass ranks fruit, there is no objectivity. It's just them projecting their idiocracy by putting cantaloupe under kiwi. But you know who the real culprit is in all of this? Tier maker themselves. These guys will retweet any tier list some jackoff makes just to be supportive. What they don't realize is that by giving these losers a platform, they'll make them think their opinions matter. Like tier maker, I know you guys got something going here. You've struck gold with the uncreative idiot market. But for my sake, please just cut it out, fam. Now that begs the question. Do I think that tier lists should be eradicated from the face of the earth? Maybe. I mean, they still serve a purpose when used objectively, but when they cross into the realm of memery, that's when there's a problem. Sadly, with each passing day, that divide gets smaller and smaller. So if it's an actual necessity to make one, then tier list with responsibility. If you are someone who's made like 3 tier list videos in their life, consider this a little intervention. You know, I'm not mad at you. I just think your life can be going in a better direction. As for the rest of you who are still making tier lists to this day, I'm sorry, you're a lost cause.